most of them don't see me as an artist. There are a lot of fields, quite art. Passion is something that keeps you going. It's something that acts like full. When you have vision, vision gives you insight, gives you foresight and farsight. Here, let's take that again. As a brilliant student as you were, other than like science or other courses that is assumed, especially by brilliant students, not art. What was your dream growing up? Welcome to this episode of Hustle Diaries. Today our guest is an artist and is here to write his story and Hustle Diaries. Mr. Eben, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
For the sake of my viewers, please introduce yourself.
So, as my host rightly said, my name is Ebenezer everyone, and I'm an inspirational artist, not only an artist but also a life coach that is handling it.
Lots of people would say there are a lot of fields, quite art.
So, I think people have really been asking me this question because most of them don't see me as an artist. The reason why they don't see me as an artist is because of how smart I am in academics here. But we don't. I'm entitled that I don't decide to follow what people are trying to give me as a part, because I have an inner passion, and the reason why I'm using the word inner passion is because passion is something that keeps you going. It's something that acts like fuel, and it's able to help you meander through challenges of life when you are facing challenge, because it is what is going to keep you going based on a challenge you need to arise. So I'm choosing art because it is something that I feel it is part of me. Without art, there is nowhere I fulfill my purpose on it, and that's the reason why I'm keeping my whole into the art field.
What was your dream growing up?
Yeah, growing up, I had a lot of ambitions. You know, as youth, when you are growing up, there are a lot of visions that we have. But sometimes you get to a certain age whereby you begin to actualize yourself and know that these are certain things that you really have to delve into. So I was a passionate footballer. I was playing football for uh, a third division, okay, here in Ghana. So I was playing football. I had so many ideas, but I realized that I can be able to use the arts to be able to impact lives in generations, and that is what I'm called for also. So using art also in the field of in ministry to yeah, imputing godly impacts into the lives of youth, so that if I become a blessing to a generation.
Interesting. At which point of your life that you had a conviction that yes, art was the goal?
Yeah, so at this point of my life, I would say right from childhood, because there are times that even some of my teachers used to come to my parents to inform them I'm a very, very good artist. One of the days, I think I remember when I was in my vicinity on a wall, I just drew a car that was parked on the street, and everyone was just passing comments all over. And I realized that this is something that I have to make sure I work towards it, because God doesn't give you anything just for you to just mishandle it, because it's something that is going to really help you to be able to help impact lives. So that's why I've embraced it so strongly, because I know that embracing it so strongly is going to help me be a blessing to lives.
That's very interesting. How did your parents, how did they take it when you heard that you wanted to pursue art other than as a brilliant student as you were, other than like science or other courses that it's assumed it's pursued by brilliant students, not art?
So I think this has been a major challenge in Ghana. Yeah, not only Ghana but also worldwide, because one of the things is that some parents want, I don't want to say parents, because there are some parents that want their children to do what they want. So a parent can say, oh, as for me,
I want my child to be a doctor. So even if a child wants to be a lawyer, it's a form of an opposition for the child, because that's not what the parents want. So they end up passing so many comments, and in the nutshell, the child is not able to really have that kind of concentration. So I had so many challenges. My mom didn't want to do visual arts. She was like, no, I think I should do science. Yeah. So even as at now, she's very surprised, because she's realized that like I've been excelling in the arts, and she has seen that I really discovered my purpose, and I'm fulfilling it. So I just thank God, because it has not been easy. Even in the vicinity, people never knew I was an artist. So I started making some paintings around me. They were like, oh, so this is what you I do when you this water in so.
As an artist guy, what are some of the challenges you faced or you are still facing?
So in Ghana, your art was right from the prehistoric era, and uh, it took place in nations. Yeah, so we can trace the roots back from the Egyptians and all those moments that came in. But relating to Africa now, art is very expensive over here, and it's based on how they understand art. Because I can do a very very conceptual artwork or art piece, whereby if I should give the price to the artwork that I have executed, it's going to be like too way expensive for such a person, because in quote maybe the kind of salary the person receives is very less. And if you should price your artwork to that extent, the person will even see the artwork as something that is not of relevance or of a necessity. But when you go to the foreign world, the European cycles, they really understand art, because they know what art can do, the influence that art can depict. So normally, people who are outside are really excelling with the arts. But I'm not saying that those who are in Africa are not excelling. Some are excelling, but it's based on the kind of connections that you have. If you have people that really understand art, that really want to support your vision, you can be able to make it. So it's just about getting the right people, being with the at the right place at the right time, with the right group of people, and with the right purpose.
Okay. So if I get you right, mean it, Ghanaians apparently learn to accept art yet. So that has become a challenge as an artist to either sell your works or people to patronize you.
Yeah, so Ghanaians are excelling in the art, because we have great artists. One of the great artists I can mention is Akadi Bilbar. I can also mention Reverend Kizito Amati. He happens to be the Ghana Visual Artists Association. Yeah. So Ghana Association of Visual Artists. I had my attachment there, and he has been one of the people that has really inspired me, because when I look at how he carries himself, even in the states that people don't really value art, he really values art with what he is doing. So he has excelled, and I believe when you also take what you are being serious, you excel. So it's just like seeing what you are good at, not what is trending, following it with all your heart, giving your all to it, and people will also recognize what you are pursuing, and in the end, they will also have value for it.
That's quite interesting. When I was making research about you and then the type of art you do and the activities you are in, I found out about Tasano Art Festival. Yeah, so can you please tell us more about Tasano Art Festival?
Okay, so my brand name is Tasano Art, as you rightly mentioned, and with Tasano Art we have a lot of youths that are very good when it comes to the arts. So we have people from primary, we have JHS, junior high schools, we have senior high schools, we have students from the universities, and even people that have also graduated from the universities. We also have people who are non-educated, because we have people who are really good in art, but because they are not educated, people don't want to help them or help them to be able to grow and develop what they have. So I've taken that initiative as an artist to be a life coach, and also to help them to be able to discover and develop their area of interest. So with the Tasano Art, the festival you are talking about, we had it recently this year. That's second January. You were just creating the awareness of the festival. So by God's grace, we'll be having the official launching, that is next year. And we are looking forward for a mega harvest. So we have a lot of zones. We have people who are from the fashion zone. We have media zone. We have painting zone. We have a lot of zones, and we don't want it to be like art is just about just painting on a canvas. When you come into the club, so out of the Tasano Art, we have a Tasano Art fan club,
Okay.
whereby we are mentoring them not only in the arts, but there are other cycles of life that we're going to help them to create the balance. So there are people who are biological science students from universities, some are from University of Ghana, Lagos, but yes, so they are also partnering with us in the acts that we are doing, and they are being blessed.
Okay. So, what was the inspiration to start such an initiative?
Yeah, so with the inspiration, I think when I was growing up, one of the things I've come to realize is that there are certain challenges that we go through that we can use that challenges for our advantage. When I was growing up, I didn't get anyone to just hold me by my hands to tell me this is how we do this is how you should do that. So I had this kind of anger, then passion. I'll call it the righteous anger, because I'm using it for the positive influence. I didn't have that opportunities, and I realized that there are so many youths who are very good in the field of art. So why won't I take that initiative to help them in that area? So I started as an art teacher in the school portal class located in Accra, that's Tansoma. So after teaching them, mentoring them, we had the exhibitions and all those things, and I realized that no, these children are even doing well. Sometimes there are people that even have that they don't have interest in art, but all of a sudden they begin to see art in a different way, because art is something that helps you to be able to have that kind of calmness within when you are at peace and having a sound mind. Because people use art to be able to reach various kinds of psychological illness and all those things, and it's a kind of cure. That's when art is being used as a therapy. So I took that initiative to help these youngsters to be able to understand what you mean by art, so that I can be able to correct that mentality that they are having, that art is all about painting on a canvas, or they be painting on a wall. Art goes beyond that.
That's quite interesting because getting that inspiration at this age, that is some of this mindset that we lack in this nation, because um, most of us think we have to get at a certain age where we have to start doing things, start some initiative or start impacting. But at this young age, and we've started giving back to the community, I'm sure most people would want to either support or either learn from you or either join. How is that process like?
Yeah, so I think people have really showed interest, and we don't have any strict rules,
Okay.
because art is something like an everyday life,
Sure.
and we use art to read various kinds of means. So if you want to join, I'll just say our floor is open.
Sure.
That's the reason why we have so many zones. We have the fashion zone, we have media, we have painting zone, we have drama zone, we have music zone, a whole lot of zones. So jewelry zones and all these things are also it's not like you just come in and you don't find a footing.
Sure.
When you come, you are going to, even if you are good in cooking, as a youth that you are good, you are doing home economics or something. We also have food and market. So during our art festivals, you are going to prepare some meal or maybe pastries, anything that you are good at. You sell and make your own profits. So it's not something that we are trying to do to raise money for ourselves, but we are doing that to be able to impact lives. So this is a non-governmental organization that we are trying to put things in real order so that lives can be transformed. So anyone that wants to join can just follow us on our social media handles, Tasano Art. When you go to Facebook, you check Tasano Art, you are going to see details of our activities. We also have our contact over there. So when you check, you are going to have a feel of Tasano Art. So if you want to join our art festival, if there is anything that you think you can also contribute with what God has given you, because it's a gift.
Sure.
And God gives you a gift for the benefit of others, not only for yourself. So if God gives you a gift and you are not using it to bless lives, then you being on earth is, in quotes, useless, because you have to become useful on this earth. Yeah, so it shouldn't be a situation where someone will say the world would have been a better place without your existence.
That's true.
Yeah, so everyone matters. So if you come and you have a gift, we give you the platform whereby you can also express that gift to bless lives.
Yeah, I was even coming to that aspect of whether you are open for sponsorship or partnership or any types of support. But before we get there, people would like to invest in the right goal and objectives. So, how do you see Tasano Art, or like first step up, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years? What's the vision?
So I think it's a very good question, because there's a saying that a man that doesn't have vision is able to see things that his normal eyes can see, but a man with vision sees things that are beyond his normal eyes. And when you have vision gives you insight, gives you foresight and farsight. Yeah.
Let's take that again.
When you have vision gives you insight. Then that insight gives you a farsight. Then that farsight also gives you a foresight, whereby you are able to see not only within the next 3 years, but you can see afterwards, the next 3 years, what happens. Because leadership is something that should be consistent. So if, let's say, I'm out of the scene, does that mean Tasano Art will not exist again? So that's why we are also looking at raising leadership potentials amongst them. So with regards to the partnership, when you come to Tasano Art, it will surprise you. When we are working together as a team, I can just be at a place and you see them taking roles. You'll be surprised, unless maybe someone tells you I'm the one in charge of Tasano Art, because I see everyone as a potential leader. Yeah. And with the partnership aspect, we are very open to anyone that we would like to support, because art is very expensive. Yes. And it takes a lot to really handle all these zones, because we have different creatives coming all together to form one thing. We even have the creative zone. Yeah. We have those who are also into makeup and all, like a whole lot of things. So anyone that would like to support Tasano Art will be very, very happy. Will be very, very happy, because you realize that you are not just pouring water into a basket. You are investing at the right place, whereby you can also reap in multiple folds.
That's interesting. Okay, if you want to tell your young self one thing, what would that thing be?
So telling my young self one thing is just knowing your purpose, because there's a particular purpose to which God brought everyone and get.
Sure.
And if you don't discover your purpose. It will be like you are just everywhere. And if you are everywhere, you disappear quickly. If you are everywhere, you are going to disappear quickly. So that's the reason why I'm understanding issue of purpose.
What advice would you give someone who wants to go to art or to venture into art?
Si la part qu'elle dit que ça m'a donné the venture into art is that when you venture in your art, make sure the part is where you belong. And because art is for all. And as art being one, if you will discover like a slide that you be frustrated because you realize that people are really doing well than you are doing. And he did, but he very discovered when you discover what you found, can become very productive.
I'll be conservative. Thank you very much. It was an exciting conversation. We're going to have it more true. So, this is Errol, and this brings us to the end of this chapter of Hustle Directs. See you in the next one.